The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
All right, everybody, we've got Dr. Orly Taitz on the line, and we're delighted and honored to be able to talk with her today. Dr. Taitz, how are you?
I'm okay. I keep fighting. We had a change. We had a phone conference yesterday with the U.S. District Court judge in Hawaii who rescheduled our motion hearing to compel Obama's original birth certificate. She moved it to November 21st, 9:30 a.m.
Was that done in the course of a hearing or a motion that you had filed, or she just arbitrarily decided to move from 14th of September to 21st of November?
Well, I did not file a motion to move it. What happened yesterday is that two attorneys for the Office of Attorney General of Hawaii appeared at the hearing, the Deputy Attorney General Jim Nagamini and Assistant Attorney General Rebecca Quinn, and they were arguing, they were asking the judge to actually dismiss my case, dismiss the hearing, saying that it's moot. I argued, of course, against it. So the judge simply moved the date to November 21st.
Well, now, arguing that the case is moot and whatever other decision they may reach, but isn't it true that Obama has already presented, allegedly, a copy of his long-form vaulted birth certificate and has made it a public record? So what's the big deal now?
Absolutely. And that's why I filed two cases. There is one in federal court and one in state court. And I am stating that the argument by the Director of Health and the argument by the Attorney General of Hawaii are just an insult to intelligence of each and every American citizen, spitting in the face of each and every American citizen, treating every American citizen and every member of the U.S. military as a complete idiot. Obama has posted this on whitehouse.gov. What privacy? He waived his privacy by doing that. So there is no longer any issue of privacy. The only issue that needs to be addressed is the issue of obvious forgery. Expert testified that what he posted on the internet cannot possibly be a true or correct copy of his original birth certificate. It cannot be a true and correct copy of any paper document. It's something that was created on the internet. It's an internet. It's a creation on the internet on computer.
Right, a PDF file.
Adobe Illustrator or similar program.
Right. So this matter it is just an insult to the American people and any logical thinking person, and it is perhaps Dr. Taitz, following all the cases that you have filed, and I'm going to get to Judge Ross Lamberth in just a moment. But I mean, you've been filing cases now for quite some time, and the courts are abdicating all of their legal responsibilities and presenting some of the most frivolous, if you must, reasons for not hearing your case. Are the American people...
What did the judge say? This is not a lucky day. What kind of answer it is? I mean, we're talking about an opinion of the chief judge of the U.S. Court for the District of
We'll back up just a moment, Dr. Taitz. Back up just a moment and tell everybody about what happened. You had filed a case in federal court in Washington, D.C., demanding, or at least asking for the Social Security Administration to verify Obama's Social Security number that we have determined, that you have determined most astutely, that was a Social Security number issued to someone in Connecticut, and Obama never lived there. Back us up a little bit and then tell us what happened with Judge Lamberth in Washington, D.C.
He's just playing games. I mean, one thing is he might be saying, I want more evidence, because he's saying that the evidence that I provided is not sufficient, and I will be providing more evidence to him. But what I provided to him is information that 3 licensed investigators have ascertained among his life he used this Connecticut Social Security number. He was never a resident of Connecticut. In itself is a reason for a federal judge to on his own, to us pointed to start investigating. My God, he should be pulling his hair if he would have had any hair left, of course.
And he issues a statement such as, "This is not your lucky day." I mean, is that the way the court rules today, based on luck, a toss of the coin, or, the roulette wheel? Is that what's going on in our courts today?
Yeah, he's written, "This is not your lucky day," and he's written that the privacy of president is above all. It's above any inquiry by U.S. citizens. What kind of arrogant, disrespectful decision towards each and every American citizen? I provided him evidence that he has a social security number from a state where he never resided. Provided him evidence that according to Selective Service Registry, Obama is using this number, and according to Social Security verification system, this number was never sent to him. Clear evidence of fraud. If it wouldn't be Obama, if it would have been any other citizen or illegal alien or any other person, this person would have been in prison immediately. Handcuffed and sent to prison for Social Security fraud, for identity theft, for using Social Security number that was never signed to him. And this shows the pinnacle of corruption in our government in all three branches: our judiciary, our Congress, our FBI, Department of Justice, all branches of government. We are worse than Egypt. We are worse than Tunisia. We are worse than Syria. We are worse than Iran, than former Soviet Union. We have such massive corruption that orders were given for everybody to continue just be complicit in this criminal.
Well, let me ask you this: if Obama is using and presently using a fraudulent Social Security number and filing his taxes based on that fraudulent Social Security number, that's tax fraud. But for the judge to state that the Obama's privacy trumps our need to know, does that mean that if Obama commits a crime, that we know that he is committing a crime, and we report it, a crime such as tax fraud, and we'd have to look at his forms.
If hypothetically Obama orders to have me killed tomorrow,
yeah,
and we all know that the orders came from Obama, his right to privacy will be more important than the right of U.S. citizens to know the truth and have him criminally prosecuted. That's what it boils down to. We have such enormous corruption among our federal judges and each and every official in the government. And I hope that each and every listener of yours writes to his congressman and demand immediate congressional hearing of this matter.
Dr.
We no longer can rely on our judiciary. We cannot rely on our judges to see the corruption. Right, each and every congressman and senator. Better yet, instead of writing letters, throw all your letters in the garbage.
Dr. Taitz, can I ask you to stay with me for a few more minutes? I need to take a brief break. I'll be for a couple of moments, but I want you to stay with me for a couple of more minutes, and because we want to try to reach people in America to have them begin to respond to this, as you stated, by writing letters. So will you stay with me for the next segment, please?
Sure.
Okay. All right, everybody, we got Dr. Taitz on the line, and she's discussing the two most recent cases. We'll be back in just a moment after these breaks. All right, everybody, we've got Dr. Orly Taitz on the line, America's foremost attorney, leading the birth of movement to have the records regarding Barack Obama disclosed so that the American people can know fully and completely who he is. However, if you've been following the work of Dr. Taitz, you will note that the courts have routinely and summarily dismissed without appropriate jurisdiction all cases regarding Obama's eligibility, Social Security number, his birth certificates, and others. I've got Dr. Taitz on the line continually. She's just received notice that the case that would have been heard on the 14th of September has been moved to the 21st of November. And Dr. Taitz, a number of people had planned to be with you in the courtroom in Hawaii on the 14th. Are you advising us to still travel on the 21st of November? Hello, Dr. Taitz. Hello, are you there? Did we lose her? Did we disconnect her? All right, we're trying to get Dr. Taitz back on the line. We had her earlier, as you heard, and during the break, we somehow or another have missed our cue and our communication with her. But we've got several questions further that we wanted to ask her regarding the cases that are the case that's not. Dr. Taitz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, while we had a break, I received a phone call from the court in Hawaii in regards to electronic filing, so I had to take it. And
Oh, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. Now, then you would not have heard my question earlier regarding the fact that you had asked us to come to Hawaii on the 14th of September to be in the courtroom, but now that the case has been moved to the 21st of November, are you still requesting people to come and be with you there?
Well, but because it was changed once, and with everything that is happening in the country, I'm telling people that if you are going to be in Hawaii November 21st, please come to the courtroom 9:30 in the morning to the U.S. District Court. If you are planning to come specifically for the hearing, get a flight insurance. So if they move the date, if they cancel the date, if something happens, you can cancel your flight.
Now, with respect to the case that was just ruled on, with the frivolous statement, "This is not your lucky day," do you have any independent filings or pleadings before the court to approach this matter of Obama's Social Security number?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you explain that to us, please?
Actually, I will be filing within 10 days a motion for reconsideration with new additional evidence. I also will be writing that, there's also another case that I filed against White House counsel Kathy Rumler, because they announced that they had certified copies of Obama's original birth certificate, and we know that's fraud. They don't have actual certified copies of his original birth certificate that was fraud by the White House staff, and specifically the White House counsel that worked then, Robert Bauer from Perkins Coie. And by the way, when this case proceeded, Robert Bauer resigned and Kathy Rumler became Obama's White House counsel. Have requested access and inspection of those two certified copies of the original birth certificate that they supposedly have there, and she's non-responsive. Let's think about it. If this man is not defrauding the nation, why hide it? Why people cannot see those documents? Not at the House Department, not at the White House. Why he doesn't have a valid Social Security number in Hawaii? I mean, we have such massive corruption that a lot of people looking to be replaced. Our director of FBI, our attorney general, our commissioner of Social Security, many congressmen, senators, and judges who are complicit in this.
Well, you know, if this matter, before this fraudulent presentation on the 27th of April of a long-form hospital, at least generated birth certificate, there had been over a couple of years of debate of this matter, any prudent person would have submitted this to authorities to demonstrate that it is authentic. And then I think that those who would serve the interests of the American people, such as judges or congresspersons or others, would have verified the birth certificate as well. But nobody has done anything except you in terms of trying to verify this birth certificate.
Well, there is fear because I've been persecuted. Look what was done to me in the last 3 years. One judge in Georgia has sanctioned me $20,000 in an attempt to stop me. Other judges attacked me with statements like this is not your lucky day. This is not a lucky day for the American people, that a judge will disregard all the evidence and allow a criminal to continue usurping the White House. That's really not a lucky day for the whole country. They hired people, hired attorneys to write complaints to the California bar. Like the California bar has ruled that there will be no disciplinary action against me. But for 3 years, those legal thugs have been writing complaints to the bar, accusing me of inciting violence, of inciting treason and mutiny among the military. They hired.
They're accused you of inciting mutiny. Is that what they've done? They've accused you of inciting mutiny in the military?
Yes, they sent a complaint to California bar intending to have me disbarred.
Really?
Because I'm starting mutiny among the U.S. military. Can you believe that?
What a joke.
They also, yeah, well, and I had to deal with all of this, believe it or not. I had to hire an attorney who represents me before the bar, and I had to deal with all this garbage. And it took a lot of my time and money. And unfortunately, attorneys who claim to be supporting this movement, Philip Berg and Gary Creep, have been harassing me with a bogus lawsuit.
Yeah, I know. Dr. Taitz, we only have a few moments left. Two questions. One is, how can people assist you? I mean, you're flying all over everywhere. You're out in California, and you have to come to Washington. You're flying to Hawaii. You're filing all these motions. You're doing all this research. You're hiring all these investigators. How can people assist you with this matter? And then the second question, of course, would be that how soon do you think that we're going to get some sort of reasonable response regarding the Social Security filing that you had? And then thirdly, I'd just like to state that all the efforts that you were doing is being documented by the courts and being documented by history. I can tell you now, Dr. Taitz, I can't tell you how soon, but I can tell you now that this matter will blow wide open at some point. It is obvious that Obama's covering up, and he's got a criminal enterprise of conspiracy among judges and officials helping him to cover this up, but it will not stay covered for long. But having said that, could you tell us how people can help you, support you, donations, or whatever it is to help you do the work that you're doing for the American people?
Well, thank you, and I appreciate this. They can go on my website. It's Orly Taitz, ESQ.com. ORLY, T as in Tom, AI, T as in Tom, Z, ESQ, like Esquire.com. They can go on my website and they can donate. There is a PayPal account there. They can donate through PayPal. And my address is there. They can donate by writing. And I do have a lot of expenses, typically traveling, filing lawsuits.
Oh, I know you have quite a number of expenses, and I'm praying that the American people will support you.
What the can do is basically build a critical mass of bombarding our corrupt mainstream media, which is owned by the same small group of oligarchy of American billionaires that put this criminal in the White House, bombarding them with evidence. We have evidence showing that Obama is using, fraudulently using the Connecticut Social Security number. Everything is on my website. Download everything, send to media, demand that they speak up the truth, that they stop treating this with either silence or ad hominem attacks. Write to Federal Elections Committee, Federal Communications Committee, write to each and every congressman. But better yet, visit those congressmen and senators. When you write, they have those aides that will just throw your letters in the garbage. They are the gatekeepers. Demand demand meetings, or go to the town hall meetings. Now, before the election, before the presidential election, we have multiple town hall meetings and meetings with presidential candidates, senatorial candidates, and other candidates all over the nation. Meetings with judges. Meet with them and confront them with evidence. Show them those documents from Selective Service, from Social Security Administration, showing here, this is from Selective Service saying Obama is using the Social Security number, and this is from Social Security Administration saying number was never assigned to him. Clear, irrefutable, undeniable evidence of criminal felonious behavior for which needs to be removed immediately and exported to the big house in shackles. This is just outrageous what is going on in the country. And demand from your elected and appointed officials that they take a stand, that they demand prosecution, that they start action, and if they're refusing to do it, ask how long will it take for them to pack their bags and leave. But instead of them, we need people with integrity.
Thank you, Dr. Taitz, so very much
Thank you.
for taking the time to talk to us today. We'll stay in touch with you. We'll continue to follow you on your website and all of the postings that come up about you nationally. Thank you so very much for...
I also wanted to thank you, Pastor Manning, for all your work. You've been working tirelessly for the last 3 years, and I wanted to state that I really appreciate all the work that you are doing.
Thank you so very much. They're well received. God bless you. All right, everybody, that was Dr. Orly Taitz, a plethora, wealth of information, filings, and we urge you to support her. I think that if there's one thing that you can do, knowing how grievous this matter is in our nation, is that you can make donations to her through her online PayPal system, and do so regularly. It's a long and a very expensive fight.
Lester.
Thank you very much. First sentence. WorldNet Daily's correspondent, Dr. Jerome Corsi, reports that in the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia, a lawsuit has been filed by investigators in Ohio and Colorado concerning the president's Social Security number. Second sentence.
Birth certificate?
He reports, no, I did not bring up the birth certificate. He reports that investigators Susan Daniels and John Sampson are asking why the president is using a Social Security number reserved for Connecticut applicants. And my question, do you know...
That's two sentences, Lester.
Two sentences, and my question, do you know of any record that the president ever had a mailing address in Connecticut?
Lester, I know there are faithful readers of your publication that, despite,
including you.
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily mark myself down as an avid reader or a faithful reader. I continue to be amazed, Lester, that 2 years after putting the president's birth certificate on the internet,
Without a hospital and
do
without
you think the
a
president
doctor.
was born here, Lester?
Beg pardon?
Do you think the president was born in the United States?
I don't know. I'd love to get the real birth certificate, wouldn't you?
I've seen the real birth certificate. I put it on the internet, and I appreciate your
this question.
I appreciate your forthrightness on the birth answer.
Listen,
Thank you.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.